Ever catch yourself, like, scrolling through Instagram and you're like, I wonder what Jeff Bezos is doing right now?
Yeah.
I know I've been there. It's just interesting to think about how these super successful people, how they start their day.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to be looking at today. We're doing a deep dive into Jeff Bezos' morning routine. And spoiler alert, it's not what you'd think.
Yeah.
So we're looking at this article from Inc.com, written by Jessica Stillman.
Okay.
And it's called Jeff Bezos Says the 1 Hour Rule Makes Him Smarter. Neuroscience Says He's Right. So let's see if maybe Bezos is onto something here.
So what's kind of surprising is that Bezos, he doesn't start his day by, diving straight into work.
Really?
He actually spends the first hour, like, puttering around.
Puttering? What do you mean, like he's organizing his desk or something, getting ready for his next rocket launch?
No. Like, more like just relaxing stuff, like reading the newspaper, having a cup of coffee, spending some time with family, having breakfast. And get this, his fiance, Lauren Sanchez, she actually said he does all of this completely screen-free.
Wow.
No phone, no laptop, nothing. Just pure analog Bezos.
I mean, I get it. Some people, they need that coffee and screen time to really wake up, right? But Bezos, he actually says that this kind of slower start without all the tech,
Yeah.
he says it actually gives him more energy
Yeah.
and helps him make better decisions throughout the day. Makes you wonder, huh?
It does. And the article, it actually mentions some neuroscience research that kind of backs up what Bezos is saying. Basically, they're finding that cutting back on screen time, especially early in the morning, could actually be really good for your brain.
Okay, well, now you've got my attention.
Yeah.
So what's the problem with starting your day with your phone or your computer?
Well, studies have actually shown that even just 2 hours or more of screen time each day, and that's outside of work, that can actually lead to, get this, lower gray matter volume in the brain.
Gray matter. That sounds important. What is that exactly?
Yeah, it is super important. Think of it kind of like the control center of your brain. It's what helps you process information, make decisions, control your movements, all that stuff.
Okay.
And what these studies are saying is that too much screen time could actually shrink that part of your brain.
Oh, that's a little scary.
Yeah.
But what about, I mean, I don't watch hours and hours of TV every day,
Right.
Most people don't. But we are on our phones, on our laptops pretty much constantly. So is that bad too?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the research suggests that even, just like moderate amounts of screen time, it can still be harmful, especially when it comes to things like learning and memory.
Really?
There was one study that found too much screen time in adults. It actually makes it harder to learn new things and remember information.
Wow.
And there's this other study that linked 5 or more hours of TV a day to a higher risk of brain diseases like dementia and Parkinson's.
So it really does make a difference. Man, okay. But the article also mentioned the Stanford Lifestyle Medicine Program, didn't it?
It did, yeah. And they actually suggest avoiding screen time completely for like the whole first hour of the day. So it seems like Bezos might be onto something with this whole, no screens puttering thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Okay, so we know Bezos avoids screens first thing in the morning, and now we've got Stanford backing him up, so that's pretty convincing. So what exactly does that first hour actually look like without a phone in your hand?
Right. Well, instead of, immediately jumping on emails or scrolling through social media, the article suggests some healthier alternatives,
Right.
like maybe doing some exercise, calling a friend or a family member, or even just, taking the time to make a good breakfast.
Yeah, that makes sense. I could definitely see how that could change the whole feel of your morning. Instead of feeling like you're already behind, you're starting off kind of calm and connected. What about stuff like meditation or reading? I think the article mentioned those too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Those can be really great for your brain, too. Like meditation, there's all this research showing it can reduce stress and help you focus better, which could, lead to a more productive day overall.
Sure.
And reading, whether it's the news or a novel or, even just a few pages of nonfiction, it makes you think in a way that just passively scrolling just can't,
Totally. You're actually engaging with the information instead of just, letting it wash over you. Oh, and there's that thing about starting your day outside too, right?
Yes.
Like, isn't that supposed to be good for you in some way?
It is. It is. Getting some of that morning sunlight can actually help regulate your circadian rhythm, which is like your body's natural sleep-wake cycle.
Oh, Okay.
So getting outside can help you sleep better and feel more alert during the day. Even just like a quick walk around the block could make a difference.
That's great. Okay, so we've got Bezos doing his thing, Stanford agrees with him, and now we've got all this fascinating science about, what's actually happening in our brain. So what's the takeaway here? What does this all mean?
Well, I think it shows that we should really think about how we're starting our mornings.
Hmm.
Instead of letting our phones kind of run the show, we can actually choose to do things that, feed our brains and set us up for a better day.
So basically, we don't have to just reach for that screen first thing.
Right.
We have the power to choose something better, something healthier. That's pretty powerful, right?
It is, yeah. And it doesn't have to be like a huge change either. Even something small, like choosing to read for 10 minutes instead of, scrolling through Instagram, that can make a difference.
Yeah, I like that. It's about, being more aware and making choices that really support what we want to accomplish.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's all about finding what works best for you and creating a morning routine that feels good. Totally. And one that helps you start your day off in a positive and productive way.
I love it. Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive into the Bezos brain boost, let's leave our listeners with a little something to think about. What if, instead of immediately checking your phone first thing in the morning, what if you picked one thing, just one thing, that would help you start your day off feeling better and maybe even help you get more done?
Yeah, it could be something like a quick workout just to get your blood flowing, or maybe just take a couple minutes to meditate and kind of clear your head.
Right.
Or maybe you're like Bezos and you just want to, enjoy a cup of coffee and chat with your family.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because we tend to think of productivity as, like go, 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 got to get stuff done. But sometimes the best thing you can do is actually just slow down for a minute,
Yeah.
kind of like give yourself some space to breathe. And that seems to be what Bezos is doing.
Yeah. Maybe that's the real secret here.
It's not just about avoiding screens, but it's about, being intentional and being present.
Absolutely, yeah. Being in the moment and choosing to do things that actually make you feel good.
Hmm.
For your mind and your body and your overall well-being instead of just draining you.
Totally. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up our deep dive into the Bezos Brain Boost. So as we sign off today, I'd love for you to just think about this one question. What's one thing you could change about your morning routine that would help you start your day feeling more positive and maybe even help you be more productive? Maybe it's time to put down the phone and embrace the power of puttering.